Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Today's Talk. I'm Randy Hawthorne, the executive editor, and today's talk is with Afam Onyema. And we had a little pre-conversation, and I'm super excited about this conversation that we're going to have because Afam works a lot of times with celebrities. You're fancy. Welcome.
I'm fancy adjacent, I like to say.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for
And
having me,
so,
Randy. Good to see you.
yeah, good to see you. We've done podcasts before, but this is the first time we've seen each other's faces, and well, in conversation
Sure.
anyway. But for our viewers right now, kind of tell them what you do. How do you get to work with fancy people?
Sure. So thank you again for having me, Randy. I am the CEO of the Jinko Foundation, and we save and transform lives in Nigeria, my parents' homeland. And I originally went to law school at Stanford in Northern California, and did my corporate law summers work in Los Angeles. And then when I decided to do Jinko instead, I was simultaneously doing the law work in Jinko, decided to focus on saving lives to make that impact. I thought, well, I have experience in LA. If I get to LA and get the entertainment community involved, it's a really a way to get a megaphone for your work, a higher platform, get people on board who can really help you grow it in a way that's unique and fun. So I moved to LA in 2007, and I've been running Jinko full time since then here. And on the health side, we do surgical medical missions. We bring doctors over from the US to Nigeria to do hip and knee replacements, gallbladder surgeries, other type of complex surgeries. We also have a robust program to help women deliver babies safely, to get them through those dangerous periods in their pregnancy, to help with child vaccinations. We have a series of maternity clinics in Nigeria. And then on the education side, we have a leadership scholarship for girls. And we take girls who have been affected by terrorism, Boko Haram terrorism, either they were kidnapped or abused, or they were orphaned or driven from their homes, and put them into schools throughout Nigeria and take care of their education, give them social support. During the COVID crisis, we donated over 50,000 pieces of PPE to clinics and hospitals throughout Nigeria. And we've also donated tablets that have pre-installed thousands of books and lessons and things that kids can read at home and also engage in remote learning while they were quarantined. So a lot of great work. And we've just been able to have some great success in getting the entertainment community involved. Our scholarship was endowed by Oprah. And so that was very exciting. We got donations from Charlize Theron, Daniel Craig, Nigerian British actors Chiwetel Ejiofor and David Oyelowo. And so, yeah, it's been really, Benedict Cumberbatch is a big supporter of ours. We work with Netflix and Disney. So it certainly keeps things interesting working in that world.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's funny you mentioned Oprah because I get a lot of people that come to me and say, "How do I start a nonprofit?" And there are a lot of times that people want to start schools in other countries, and my response to that is, "Well, do you know Oprah?" Because that's it's a lot of work to do the work that you're doing, and it
Yes.
takes a lot of funding to do the work that you're doing. So that's great that you've been able to leverage some of those resources to be able to do that, especially for your home country, which is awesome. So.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's certainly, it's funny. I get the same question. How did you get to Oprah? How did you get to some of these people? And so I've tried as much as I can to give insight and advice on our journey and the way we've connected and gotten these relationships, because obviously we're a small charity working in Nigeria, which you wouldn't think would attract a lot of stars and celebrities. But I think that's also a part of the breaking free from that mindset. And so I often get people saying, "Well, you're in LA, you're hobnobbing with all these stars," which I'm not. But like you're so close to them. We're based in Kansas City, we're based in Boston and Chicago. How do we get celebrities? And the number one thing I say for that is that, those celebrities aren't from LA. Most celebrities come from somewhere else. And so just to give you and people who are watching a kind of a piece of the entertainment universe, we have some experience with the Avengers Marvel universe and some of the stars there. And Chris Pratt does a lot of his work in Washington State, where he's from. And Chris Evans, Captain America, lives in Boston to this day and does a lot of his charity work in Boston. And Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, and a series of other actors outside that universe, John Hamm and Jason Sudeikis, team together to do work in their native Kansas City. And so really, if a charity is based in a city, the first thing I would do is do some research on who do we know that is from here and made it, whether it be in acting or singing or some other form, who then we can reach out to and say, hey, we're doing work in your home city. Can you help us with the local children's hospital, soup kitchen, what have you? And you'd be surprised how many want to go back and have a connection with their roots. Many of them still have family members. So perhaps you can get to someone's brother or cousin and say, hey, I know you get a million requests, but the Children's Hospital here in Cleveland would love to work with your brother, or this orphanage would love to work with your son. And so that's one way. Despite not being connected to Hollywood directly, a lot of these actors have roots in other cities and really want to make a difference where they're from, because they know that it's much harder to rally support and have and also know that their megaphone, their star power goes much farther in a place that's kind of farther away from the overcrowded, celebrity saturated LA.
Yeah, that's so true. So you've done your research and you know someone from your hometown. Is the gatekeeper still going through an agent, or is that how you have to do that?
That's a great question, and I'll admit to people watching, I probably did it the wrong way. I did try to go through agents. I went to all the agencies here in LA and talked to them. They all have foundations, and so I met with their foundation leaders, gave my spiel, told my story. They were all very sweet and nice, but agencies aren't really, to some degree, they are now more so than before when I was getting started. But their job is to help shepherd a program that a star wants to do, kind of make sure things run smoothly, but they're very rarely going to present ideas on charities to celebrities. And so another kind of secret that I'll give out, that people don't really think about, are going through, if you can get to writers, directors, producers, people with studios, kind of people who aren't famous in themselves, don't have a million, 10 million followers on Instagram, but work with celebrities intensely almost daily. And one of the great things about getting a director or a writer involved is that director moves from project to project, and each project will have a fresh set of stars. And that director really believes in you, they can put in a word to that celebrity and say, hey, I ran into someone from your hometown who wants to connect. Can I connect you? And we've had that happen several times. We have some really great producers and directors on our board, in our network. And so for each project they have, they go, oh, well, not only do I want to get you involved with the star, but why don't we have some of your donors come and do a set visit, or why don't I give you tickets to the premiere that you can auction off? And so those are creative ways to be able to leverage not only the celebrity and their time outside of their work, but actually to leverage their work, and to be able to, to meet them while they're there on set and what have you. And in terms of agents versus kind of other official kind of people around that celebrity, publicists are a great way to go. Their job is to field a lot of these different requests and to funnel them through. I think any charity that's interested in celebrities should have an IMBD Pro account. That's an account where you can go on and you see a celebrity and who their agent, their manager, their accountant, they kind of get their whole network and universe, and kind of you can try to attack different ways. And so that's been very helpful for us. I have some really dear friends who I met just by emailing their manager, and the manager passed it on. They were interested, and now we connect directly. And the goal is always try to, as much as you can, shift the connection to be direct. And so I will go through the proper channels. I'll go through a publicist, I'll go through a manager, what have you. But once you get to know the talent, the celebrity, you always want to ask, can I contact you directly with things? Like, how do you want to work with us? Just so things aren't lost, so things don't get dropped. And I think I want to say for 75% of the talent we work with, I can reach out to them directly with an idea, and they'll say, I love it. Here's, they'll copy their assistant or they'll copy their agent and say, they'll handle the details, but I want to do this. And you become, honestly, for many of them, they're amazing people, and you become friends. Like you think outside of them in a costume or them on the screen. You think about them as human beings. How are you doing? How are you coping? How's your family? And they care so much about this work. They really want to latch on to something real and something that makes a tangible difference in people's lives. And so I know Hollywood gets a terrible rap sometimes for being vapid and empty, and some of that's true to some degree, but the people that we've worked with are some of the kindest, most engaged, passionate people I know in my life.
Yeah. And you're right. They're just humans.
Yeah.
They just chose a path where they're making a whole lot more than me and known by a
Exactly.
whole lot more people, but whatever. That's all good.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, hey,
Exactly.
thank you so much. Those were some great quick tips on how to potentially get celebrities involved. And thanks for the great work that you're doing out in the world. And thank you all for listening and watching, actually. And if you have a story you'd like to tell and you're a nonprofit, we love to hear from peers. Peers are great. Challenges that you've had, successes that you've achieved. We'd love to hear from you. Just hit us up on the Facebooks, and we'll put you on, just like Afam. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Randy. Honored to see you again.
And we'll see you all next time.